friends, welcome to my channel Creating Essence. I am Megan. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Today I wanted to do a little recap of our 2017 year on our little mini homestead here and talk about my goals for the 2018 year. We are in the end of December now and the garden is officially put to bed for the year. So I figured it would be a good time to look things over and assess our progress and think about what we want to do next year. 2017 was like our first really successful year on our little mini homestead. We have tried gardening ever since we moved to this property when we bought this house in 2015. But I am from upstate New York, like way upstate by Canada. Gardening up there is an entirely different beast than gardening in the South. I grew up where it snows October through April, and you plant the end of May, beginning of June, and you try to have everything in before the 1st of October because it's toast if you don't. Down here, oh, it's just so different. The weather is different. The seasons are different. What grows well here is different. And even the pests are different. So this is our first truly successful year. So we decided to transition to the Back to Eden garden method. I have a whole playlist. Every time I did a gardening video, I put it on the playlist, so check the iCards. So you can check those out, but we were transitioning to the Back to Eden method. We weren't a true Back to Eden style this year. We did till at the beginning of the year, and we just put in a lot of compost as we planted everything and mulched the entire garden. Once everything was planted, mulched it really deeply with wood chips. And we have just continued with the layering. Some people say Back to Eden is nothing more than mulching. It's a whole lot more than that. But I'm not going to get into specifics. If you want to watch the actual movie on the Back to Eden kind of style, design, the hows and whys and science of it all, I will also put up an iCard with that. But it's a fantastic resource and it really helped us this year, and we had our first ever successful garden. At the beginning of the year, we planted some fruit trees, 2 apples and a peach, and they're both doing great. We planted 3 blueberry plants. 2 of them died, 1 of them lived, and at the end of the fall this year, we put in 3 more blueberry bushes, and they're all still doing great. We had planned to put in strawberries this coming spring, and then a friend sent us a bunch of strawberry plants. So we planted 2 raised beds with around 50 plants in each. And we did the layering style with the Back to Eden. One variety took off amazingly and the other died. I planted them all identically, so I don't know what the difference is. I guess maybe that one variety just didn't like our climate. We have 1 bed of strawberries that has done amazingly, and this next year it produced so many babies in addition to some fruit already this year that we need to build a second raised bed to put all those little babies in because they're starting to really crowd that one big bed. The other bed we turned into garlic instead, so I planted garlic for the first time this year, and I'm really excited to see how that does. Kibby wanted to say hi. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how well the garlic does. We should be able to harvest it in about May or June, depending on how it grows, but so far it's looking great. We also put in a raspberry bed very unexpectedly. I have a video that I did on that. You can see that in the playlist, in the homesteading playlist. And only one of those survived, and it did really, really well. But then my friend Jen from When in Idaho, I'll put up a card with her channel because she's awesome. She sent us more raspberry plants and we put those in the ground as well. So I'm excited to see what they do this coming spring. We've put in around our orchard things a lot of beneficial plants and flowers that will bring on the early the early pollinators. We put poppies in with the apples and the peaches, and we put daffodils around the base of the trees. We're hoping, in addition to being gorgeous, that they really help out with those earliest spring pollinators and getting things going for those trees. There are a few things that we won't be planting again this year. We won't be doing zucchini. We have yet to have a successful zucchini crop. The squash bugs are too bad. I've dealt with them in every way possible and have never been successful. They decimate every kind of squash, like the pumpkins, winter squashes, and zucchini. It just has been demolished no matter what we've tried. So I don't think we'll be doing that again. We do love our zucchini and our, ooh, Kibby. We do love our zucchini and our squashes, but I don't think we're going to continue to dump time and energy and resources into that. We'll just buy it from another local farmer who does it really successfully. We also won't be planting San Marzano tomatoes again. We planted 4 kinds of tomatoes this year. We did a tumbler cherry tomato, an Amish paste tomato, San Marzano potatoes, and an heirloom beefsteak variety for slicing. The tumbler cherry tomatoes were a first for us this year. They did incredible. They came on very early and they were just a huge success. We loved having them. The Amish paste tomatoes did well, and so did the heirloom beefsteak, but the San Marzano were a very weak plant, very spindly, lot of long bare stems, not many leaves, and not suckers taking away from the energy of the plant, then just tiny, tiny fruit. They were delicious, but they produced very little, and they were just weak looking plants in general. So I don't think we'll be doing them again, because I feel like we can plant other varieties in that spot, like more Amish paste or something like that, and get way more fruit for that real estate in our garden. We also won't be doing turnips again. I bought a packet of turnip seeds the first year that we planted a garden, and they did very well, and we have planted them every year since then because we've just been continuing to use that packet. The packet's gone now, and we just don't like turnips enough to continue to do that. The last thing we won't be planting this year that we've done the last few years is our sunflower house. You will see that in the first videos of this year's homesteading playlist, but we realized that we kind of had a crappy space for it. We couldn't figure out why only a few were growing. It's because they were in too much shade, and we don't have the space to give them, to make a sunflower house in more sunlight. So I think we're just going to stick to planting some. Kibby really wants to be in the video, so everybody say hi to Kibby. But I think we're just going to put sunflowers on the furthest row against our fence in the main garden, so that we'll have the sunflower heads for the chickens. Which brings me to the 5 things that are goals for our 2018 homestead. I got this idea from Rose at Wholesome Roots. I will link to her video here. She is a wonderful homesteader, and she's really sweet and really, really authentic. She did a video about her 5 goals for her homestead in 2018. And that is what I'm going to finish this off with. The number 1 is chickens. We've been meaning to get chickens for 2 years now, and in 2016, we had a baby instead. We got Solomon instead of chickens. And this last year, we ended up being invited to go on vacation with my sister-in-law and her family in the beginning of the spring. And we realized it kind of was a crummy time to get chicks and have like a house sitter be responsible for our chicks. And then when we got back from vacation, the garden was just in full swing, and I could not wrap my head around getting chicks that late in the season when I had so much other stuff going on. This year, we're getting chickens. We are hoping to get Plymouth Rocks, something really versatile like that, and building a chicken tractor. We'd like to get 12 sexed chicks. We're hoping that we'll only have 1 to 2 roosters in them, but we do want fertilized eggs so they can continue to reproduce. But if we have any extra roosters, we will be culling them once they get to be 3 to 4 months old, because we just don't want to deal with fights and things. But we'll be building a chicken tractor, and hopefully we'll have lots of interesting videos on that. Our number 2 goal is that we're going to continue with the full Back to Eden method. By the end of our garden year this year, we had everything mulched nice and deep with the wood chips, and then we cut off the plant, able to compost naturally in the soil and break down by spring. So we just cut everything off at the soil and then laid the plants on top to mulch. And this year we covered with some wood chips and some leaves. We are going to get more wood chips this year, hopefully for free, but if we have to, we will buy another pile of the natural untreated wood chips like we did this last year, because it was a really good investment for us. And we'll just continue to layer the compost and the wood chips, because it helped so much. We do live in Southern Virginia, and our first 2 years trying to garden here, we had to water a lot. And then there were times that we got tons of water and rain for days, and things literally drowned. But with the wood chips, we had neither of those problems. We never had to water unless we were newly planting something, and I would water it with something like fish emulsion. But we never had to water anything because the wood chips held in the moisture. But then when we got tons of rain and there was a lot of water on top, the wood chips also soaked that up, so it didn't turn the soil into mud. We saw so many benefits of doing the Back to Eden garden method with the wood chips, so we'll be definitely continuing with that full, true Back to Eden style. We would also like to add more fruit. We're going to do that second raised bed of strawberries with the little baby offshoots that are coming off. Hopefully we'll get fruit from them in 2019, but we're going to do more fruit like that, and we'd like to put in more raspberries, because that side of our property is a wooded lot that really puts a lot of shade, because it's very mature woods. It puts a lot of shade on a good portion of our property. So we're kind of stuck with just using the far side of our property as far as planting things that don't grow well in shade. We do have the front of our property that we would like to put in a raspberry bed to be a sort of edible landscape. As it grows, we want to trellis it nicely so that it has a nice curb appeal and also provides fruit for the family. The fourth thing that we would like to make a priority in 2018 is to preserve more. I've talked a few times about the autoimmune issues that I had flare up this summer, and that really prevented me from doing much as far as preserving. Most of the time we were just eating fresh and then giving away what I couldn't use up. And that was really nice to be able to give to people. There were so many times I could post on my church's private MOPS group and say, look, I am overrun with tomatoes and cucumbers and basil, and like, do you need any of this? Come meet me at the grocery store. Like, we will meet halfway and just come shop out of the back of my van, for lack of a better way of putting it, and just take what you need. And I loved being able to give like that, but it did also mean that I couldn't preserve the way I wanted to. This year, I would love to can more. So that is a huge goal for 2018. And the final goal is to give more. And I know I just said that we gave so much, but in reality, I would love to be better about preventing waste by picking way in advance instead of it's going bad, I need to pick everything and get it out. I would love to just be able to stay on top of things better and use fresh what we need, preserve right then what we haven't used fresh, and then our thought is perhaps on Sunday, take what's left from the entire garden so that Monday we're starting fresh, but take everything that we haven't used that week that is then ripe and give it to anyone who needs when we go to church on Sundays, or anyone in the community that we know that could use it. So giving more and being better stewards of what we grow in general is a huge goal for us as well in 2018. And those are my 5 goals. That's kind of how our garden and little mini homestead development went in 2017 and our goals for 2018. I would love to hear if you garden or grow chickens, whether you have a mini homestead or a container garden on your porch. I would love to hear if you have goals for 2018. Share that with me in the comments below. If you do a 5 goals for 2018 video, put it in the comments below so I can go check out your video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this in the future. Bye-bye, friends.